Hello, Quadabble here on my main account, and on this video I wanted to show you how choosing a champion works for me in my later game, and if you're past level 50 this will work for you too, but sometimes when you go through, and I've shown you this tool before, here let me grab it. Let's say when you're looking up champions and you want to go through and you want to look at I use a Yumi Love. It's a tool that I used from the past. And if you want to look at find out what champions have a certain skill you want, and I was looking for block revive skill champions, and I don't have any of these legendary ones. I have a couple Armigers, and I have a Painsmith that I'm working on for the Dwarves faction. And then if you get up into here, I only have Fenax and Mauve up here. So out of all the block revive champions, now these ones down here, I have all these down here, but only Painsmith have I worked up. I could work on Conqueror or Beast Wrestler, but it's not that important. And like I said, I've worked up two Armigers from the past. But the reason I'm going to choose Fenax is primarily because he has a good Faction Wars rating, and he has a great Ice Golem Peak rating. And once you ascend him, he's going to have a kills all enemies killed by this cannot be revived, and this is his A1. So you might have a legendary champion that does this for you, but I don't have one, and I need to get a champion for Ice Golem's Peak, and I want the skill on the A1. And the good thing about Ice Golem's Peak are the two assisting little bosses that help the Ice Golem clan, the Ice Golem boss. They're void champions, so there is no color coding assistance. I was thinking about going through and working up my Armigers for level 25, but their skill is on a 2-turn cooldown or a 3-turn cooldown, so it doesn't come by often enough. And then the other primary reason that I'm choosing Fenax, and like I said, he has a decent rating in his Faction Wars, is my Faction Wars for this account. My Faction Wars for Sacred Order is at 60, and I don't have anything to really help that location. I need one more champion to get up there, and having a block revive champion might help me in the final boss of the Sacred Order crypt, in this faction crypt. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Fenax to the top, 660, and work him in. Now, I've had him for a long time, but I've never went back and looked for a champion with good block revive. And I do have Mauve, which might not be bad. If you look at where is she? They're probably 440s. Yeah, here for the Barbarian Crypt. But I don't need another champion for the Barbarian Crypt. Faction Crypts. So I don't want to work her in, and she doesn't really have that good ratings except in Faction Wars, and I don't need her. And her skill for block revive is on a 3-turn cooldown if you booked her, and I don't want to waste the books on her again. And for Fenax, the skill that I'm going for is on a there is no cooldown for it. So his skill is put down, and this skill, enemies killed by this skill can't be revived. I'm going to ascend him to 3, and I'm going to slow walk him up. So this will probably be I'll finish this video once I've leveled him up and see what he can do. I just got to get him to the 3rd stage on level 25, and then hopefully each hit, if they have any debuffs, because you can put debuffs with other skills on him, block buffs, you can put all these skills on him. So the first round between him and my other champion, they're going to put debuffs on the target. I'll get that second hit, and then if I can get his attack up high enough, he can block revive those 2 champions. And then I'm thinking this might be the way that I can beat stage 25 of Ice Golem's Peak. And right now, my Ice Golem's Peak, I've beaten stage 25, but it's horrible. It's actually very horrible. It's an 18 minutes and 43 second cooldown. The reason this one's so high is because I have some great blue champions, some magic champions, and I believe that was the one for stage 20, blue champions. Again, color coding is important. It was my best. It was the same team I used in stage 20. So other than a few more difficulties, that team can beat it in under 10 minutes. But for farming purposes, I really need to get this team down below 6 minutes. So I'm going to build Fenax up. He'll be able to block revive, and then he'll also be able to be used in my faction crypt. So the first stage here is to equip him, and I'm going to put him, I think, either in counterattack equipment or some high, obviously some high attack. I have to get his attack way up there so he has a chance. So crit rate, crit damage, speed will be a factor, defense, so he'll survive there, but I'll probably use Roglin along the way, and he'll get revived along the way. And then the point is to revive those two revive those 2 side champions in the Ice Golem Peak, and then just then just destroy the other champion. So there are a lot of little techniques you can use, but I think I'm going to take Fenax up and just stomp this champion into the ground. So I'm going to probably make this a 2-parter, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get him up there, and I'm going to try him at 550, and I'll show you if he worked at 550 with the other team as my champions. And I might have to manual him. Of course, we want to always have auto, but if I can get a 6-minute manual team for the final stages until I kill the side champions and then finish them off auto, we'll see what happens. But all right, well, I'll be back in a sec. I'm going to take him up to 440 and ascend him and do all that stuff, and I'll show you what I did as far as getting that champion ready. All right, so while I'm equipping this champion, I realized that there's a few tools in here you might want to use, and I'll display how they work. So the first thing I want to do when I pick a champion, I'm always almost going to put him in speed boots. I want them to be fast, but I'm looking for a few other things. So I'll go over here. I'm going to go into the fitting room because I don't want to put this stuff on and take it off. That's a great new feature. If you haven't tried it, I'll show you how it works. But you go in here and I click speed. Okay, so I'm like, okay, well, all these are great. The 2 biggest factors that I'm looking for is crit rate and accuracy. There's other ways to get around the accuracy situation, but basically those are the 2 primary stats. Speed is a factor, but having speed boots on usually takes care of, getting your champion up to 150. So having 150 speed right off the beginning. So I look through here, and then I'm like, well, I'm looking for these substats too. So you click on here for the substats. You come over, and I click crit rate. So I have all the speed. I don't have to click up anything in here. It just looks for the primary stat of speed, which that can only be boots. And then I come over here and I click substats and crit rate. Now I can pick other things, but those things right here for the boots are kind of what I'm going for. So I go through here and I look, and out of all the sets, and I could use a good cruel set, crit rate, attack percent, that's pretty good. Over here, crit rate, crit damage. But you can see I have this relentless one on here with a crit rate. So I'm going to try it on. That's the nice thing about this. I'm going to try that on, and I get my crit rate to 20%. And my speed already broke 100. So obviously I can level this up later on. So now what I'm going to do is say, okay, well, I don't care about the primary stat, but I want to see it in relentless. So I want to see what other relentless gear offers me, because it's a 4-piece armor set, and I want to make sure that my substats that are important to me are there. So I might click over here and say, okay, well, I need an accuracy chest piece. I don't have an accuracy chest piece. I don't have any gloves with crit rate as a substat. So then I start looking in here. That means I'm going to use these 3 to finish it off. So I'll come here to the chest piece. I got a crit rate. So what I like to do is it doesn't cost anything, and it doesn't affect really any tournaments, like artifact enhancement tournaments or events. So it's good just to level things up to level 8 to see where they're going to land. And that HP one's probably the one I wanted the least. But if I can get a crit rate right here on the second level of 8, that's going to be a fabulous piece. By giving at least 10%. But it gave me resistance. So I'm a little reluctant to use that one, but at the same time, it's still not a bad piece of equipment. It does give me 6, and I have 2 more chances to raise up that crit rate. But if it doesn't happen in the first 2, that makes me kind of reluctant to use it. And then I have this 6-star helmet, and you can see the crit rate was 13%. And then I cruise over here, and I got 1 of each of these. So this is probably the one I'm going to go for. I know where it went, and I've already leveled it up, so I'll go ahead and try that one on. And you can see that takes up my crit rate up to 33% and 15%. And then I look at this piece, again, another 10% on the crit rate to go up there. So I'll go ahead and try that one on too. So I've got that one on. I'll go back to these boots, and they'll just fall off real quick. And then I click it, and now I can raise this one up to an 8. And I am hoping at least one of these goes to the crit rate, and none of them goes to that defense one. I don't mind defense, but defense flat stats, or any flat stat other than like speed, I don't really ever want those to increase. But I'm hoping I'd get that crit rate up. That'd be about 10% on this one, and went to the defense. A little, so and that's why we're trying this stuff on. We're going to click try on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my substats. I'm going to take off the crit rate, and I'm going to look for accuracy. Do I have an accuracy piece in Relentless? And it looks like I do. I don't want substats. That was a mistake. I want primary stats accuracy. So you can cruise through here, and looks like I don't have a Relentless one. So I'm going to have to go with, once I take that off of that primary stat, it does look like I'm going to have to go with that on the Relentless. I'd have to go with the shield, which didn't give me, I have 2 more chances to level it up. But once I equip it on, you can see that now I'm basically at 64%. And now my last 2 pieces, I like to find something with accuracy as a primary. And I really don't want to use crit rate gloves. I really don't want to use crit rate gloves. So you can see that out of all these choices with crit rate and accuracy as the primary, I don't have any choice in what I'm looking at is accuracy sets, and I'm also looking for resilience sets because those are really popular to use, easy to use, but not resilience. So I'm struggling right now to find an accuracy chess piece in something that's the resilience is not bad, but I don't want to use that one. And then you can see up here the immortal set could be something I could use. It does have crit rate, but now you have to start comparing crit rate with. So this one had a crit rate substat and the accuracy, so I could try that on. But now I'm in my filter. I'm going to pull this off, and I'm going to look for crit damage. So I'm looking for a crit damage immortal set because that's what the other one is. So crit damage has speed and attack and accuracy. That's a really fabulous one. And then this one has attack attack, and accuracy. And I might go with this one because of the speed and the accuracy, and then the attack. So I can go upgrade, go to 8 again, and see what that looks like. In here, any of them, really. They're all good substats. Attack percent is going to help me kill a champion. Accuracy is going to help me to place that block revive on. So again, not too bad. Go in here, go ahead and hit try on. And now you can see I've gone up. I'm at 68% on my crit rate. And I have a couple other locations that could increase it. All of these could increase it. Now, the thing is if you click one of these, they just disappear. It might be nice to have like an X up here in the corner later on, so you can click on it and then you can possibly do this over here. You can do your upgrade. So instead of clicking on it to remove it, because then you have to go back and you have to do your search again. So maybe that's a suggestion I'll make to the developers of the game. But so I had that one for the crit damage. So now my crit damage is 165%, as you can see, or actually more than that because of the crit damage I added. So let's go ahead and hit try on, and you can say 128%. Is what it is now. And I can get more of these other ones to get my crit rate up. But so now I've got 114, 111 on my accuracy, and that's only at a level 8. So I could probably get that up to about 175. And then once I choose some substats, and that's an interesting thing, is if I just want him to be a block revive champion, I can increase his accuracy by 20 by never using his other 2 skills, by building a team that says don't ever use his A2 and his A3. So he can start off with an extra 30% for his accuracy if I'm using other champions to put the buffs on, the debuffs on. So this is kind of how I go through and I put armor and stuff on these champions. I can click over to here. Oh, it's not going to let me move over. So once I move out, I'm going to lose that, it looks like. So let's go with... That's interesting. It's not going to let me move over to that side. Anywho, that's not that big of a deal. So what we're going to do now is, again, this was how you choose armor. And another option is, so let's say I turn it off, and that'll just wipe out the whole thing. And then I start all over again, and okay, I start with speed. And I say, okay, I want his crit rate to be the highest, or I want his accuracy to be the highest. So I cruise down below, and I get into this, you can see I can get into this perception sets, but this doesn't have a crit rate, whereas the other one did. So I think the Relentless gear is going to probably be the best, but again, we can go in here and we can say speed with substats of crit rate, and I can go back up here to the top, and I could just choose Avenging. Avenging might be nice because then he can counterattack and get that extra hit. So I can cruise in here. It's got a crit rate of 7%. I can upgrade it to 8. And again, I want the crit rate to go up, not the defense stat, but there's really nothing you can do. You just have to kind of get what you use. I went 2 to defense. So for me, that's really not worth it. But in comparison to that Relentless gear that I had, let me see where to go. Relentless. This was only plus 5% with a similar problem with the defense. So it's not that big of a deal. But I can go in here, click the Avenging. I can click Try On. So that means I'm basically going to say goodbye to the rest of this equipment. But then that opens up adding accuracy. You can see it happens in both, and here's accuracy with crit rate. So that's better than before. On my my Relentless gear did not even have an accuracy set that I wanted to use, and I'm trying to get as many substat hits of the crit rate as I possibly can so I can get above 75%. And I'm just hoping all this doesn't go to the top again, which would be frustrating. Ugh, terrible, terrible. All right, so I'll try that one on. And then now we're going to look for crit damage to see if I have crit damage gloves in Relentless. Or Avenging, excuse me. Not Relentless, but Avenging. And it doesn't look like I have Avenging as an option. So I'll go ahead and get rid of the accuracy check, the speed check, and that gets me basically down to this one. So now I'm looking for crit rate with Avenging. Or excuse me, crit rate with crit damage with crit rate. But that's not going to happen, so I'll go through and I'll pop that crit rate off. And I'll cruise down here and I'll see if it's in still nothing that I wanted down in there. So, and this is the game you can use to equip your champions. It's nothing too difficult, but what I might need to do is give up the crit rate on the boots and have a better chance at that. So give me just a sec. And all this has been the try-on feature. So this hasn't cost me anything but about anything like 20 or 30,000 to upgrade stuff to level 8. So what I want to do now is I want to go over here. I want to check the boots again, but I want to check this one and I want to see which ones give me accuracy as a substat. So I'm looking for speed boots with accuracy, and then again, I'm down here on resilience. I'm not going any further on that. Let's see here. And I might just do 3 sets of 2s. Maybe it's too much to ask for. So I'm looking for accuracy. If there's an accuracy boot with accuracy as a substat, that's not too bad. So I can go down here and I can go up to level 8. And it gave me more accuracy. So this will give me 40 for accuracy, plus I just got another bonus of 20 for accuracy. 30 for accuracy. Wow. So that's actually pretty cool. So I can go over here and I can click try on. So now what I'll do is click off the speed. Now if I want to steal some equipment from other champions, I can just click equipped and it'll bring up all the equipment out there. So maybe you have a champion, you put some of your best armor on, but you don't use that champion. So you can steal from other champions doing this too. But you get to, that was one of the big features, is I can say, okay, well, I want to try this one on. So I can try that on. I don't have to pay the 100,000 to take it off just to test to see if it gets me what I want in my substats. So I'll go ahead and click and get rid of that. That's another good way to go out and find some of your, to equip your new top tier champions and grab some armor off other champions. You can try it out before it is a big feature. So now what I'm looking for is accuracy, but I want to look for an accuracy chest piece. That substat will never be the same. So what I might want to do is go with that crit rate again and see what comes up. Now I'm kind of looking for accuracy on my an accuracy chest piece, but there are none out there that I can really use for the crit rate as a substat. So, and I can't use accuracy as a substat for a primary stat. They can't be the same. So I might go in and say, okay, well, I want their attack percent to be super high. And again, you can see that's not an option. I'm not going to put these on this champion. I could look for crit damage. So what I might need to do is just pick one out there that fits like what I need it to do, and I'm not getting down anywhere else I need to. So I might look for speed. I might look for this immortal set, worked out pretty good earlier. I could try putting on some of this other armor, but I don't really want to at this point in time. So I might be looking things for defense. I can't really use the 4 set pieces anymore, but you can see Divine Life has speed on it. That's not bad. Divine Offense has attack and a crit damage. That's not bad. So it's really getting hard now with the accuracy substat, or excuse me, an accuracy primary, to get even crit rate. Now I have that immortal set, so I'm probably going to put that back on, and it gave me the 4%, so at least it helps in that factor. So there's that one. So now you can see I have 2 other armor sets that I have to finish out. So what I'm going to do now is pick my gloves. I'm going to go back and pick my crit damage gloves. And this is the 3rd set, so either I could find one in accuracy or immortal set. So what I can do is close this up and just look for accuracy, immortal. But I'm still not getting down to the 3rd set. So none of those have a crit damage available in a piece of equipment that's unequipped. So now I'm going to go back and just see which ones are available. I have a strong defense with a high accuracy. That might be the way I want to go. There's another accuracy with speed. That's a good substat. Crit damage wouldn't be a bad thing right now. If I could find crit rate, would be good. I think there's a divine crit rate. Here's the immortal set to finish that one off, which we were going to use earlier. So the last thing I'll do is I'll just put as a substat for crit rate and see what my choices are. And if I can find it, I can't find any 2-piece one. So then if I go back and I hit accuracy, that was my next one. All these are available. And I think what I'm going to do is, since none of them will give me crit rate, I'm going to pick this one. So I'll go ahead and click try on. So now I need to fill the spot for the accuracy set. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click crit damage for primary, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick crit rate as a substat. I could pick speed. Here's a crit rate chest piece, or excuse me, which has 17%. That's pretty good. Plus, if I add the 12%, but I don't, there's my accuracy. So I come in here to the accuracy sets and I say, okay, well, I could pick crit rate there. I can pick, this is a 10% crit rate, and I could just see what this one does. If I get 2 on that crit rate one, or even the accuracy, looked really good. So any of these would help what I'm trying to do. Accuracy's fine. So when I add this, that will increase my accuracy set really good. And crit damage, that's not bad. It's not game changing. I really am turning back to this crit rate here, which gives me 17% crit rate. And when I add the 12 in, that's going to be a 29% crit rate. So I'm going to go ahead and add that one in for the try on. And you can see now I'm up to about 51%. And then I'm going to add another one. So now it comes down to between the crit. I don't have a crit rate that's going to work. So no matter what I choose here, it's not going to make a big difference. But here, I didn't get a crit rate increase. It looks like I'm probably going to have to go with this one right here, and I'll go ahead and upgrade that. And what I'm hoping for is 2 hits on the crit rate, and then that's going to make me go back and find a crit rate helmet. And of course I want accuracy or something like that. So the speed's fine. Any of these is fine, but I'm really hoping for that crit rate to be up there, so I don't have to use a crit rate glove as a primary stat. There's 10%. I could get another hit, so I'll go ahead and try that on. So now I'm up to 61%, and when I turn off my crit rate and I don't have anything there, I can cruise back down to the crit rate. I don't have a helmet yet, but I can go farm one. It's not that hard. I can go farm one, or I could even go into my equipped people. I could say crit rate for a substat, and then I could click on helmet because I'm only looking for helmets, and then it comes down to crit rate. And these champions, honestly, none of them are that important to me to where they're at. I don't really want to mess with this champion, but this is a 6-star with a crit rate plus 17%. I think I just found a winner, and then it adds 29% because it finishes another set. So if I click try on it, and remember this is costing me nothing. I didn't have to take that off. I didn't have to pay to have that off. So now I'm at 90% crit rate, and I really haven't spent any money. If I spend the 100%, it's only to take this one helmet off, and I can go out and get another helmet and put it on that champion. I'm not really using him right now, so it's not that big of a deal. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'll say equip, and now you can see I'll pay the 100,000, and now you can see my accuracy is 181%. I'll cruise over here, and what I'll do is add on what I'm shooting for over here is defense and attack, and I want attack percent. So I just want to find one that has attack percent as the lower one. It's not that. I could go in here, I could click filter again. I could go with substat of attack percent, and you can see that these are the ones, the rings. This looks like a nice one. I gain a shield with 5% of the damage dealt after attacking. That's not bad. He's going to be a high damager. That would help him last longer. And I have this one with an attack percent. So again, what I might do is go through here. It's attack to begin with and attack percent with the defense percent. I'll hit upgrade. I'll go to 8%. This ring I can pull off later and put it onto somebody else. But remember, Fenax is also somebody that I'm trying to take all the way to the top of the faction wars. Attack percent went up, so I think we got a winner here for this guy. So I'll go ahead. I can do the substats. The finishing this character, clan v clan, for me is in a couple days, so I'm probably going to save up some silver and put that onto him. But now you can see he's only rank 440, no ascension, and you can see this champion's already starting to go the right way. He's got a 75% crit rate, and I still have just to go to level 12. I have 2 more chances that I could get another 5% on the crit rates here. So that could take me past 75%. So having 75% is a really good start on this account. And I'm going to finish leveling this up a little bit later once my Clan v Clan games start. And as I said before, I'm going to go ahead and go to the tavern, and I'll ascend him to level 3. It's nothing too exciting. It'll probably take a few to get to level 3. I might have to use some superior potions, but I have a good habit of keeping a lot of superior potions around. So you can see his HP and his basic attack went up some more. This might be a champion that I go through and put some books into, but I'm going to test him at 550 to see if he's working before I put any books into him, and see how he if I can get one or two. If I can get both those side champions and Ice Golem's Peak killed, then I will go ahead and do that. So I'll pause this video now. I know this is a super long video, but I've been enjoying it, and this is where I'm going to make it a 2-parter. I'll come back. I'll make him 550. No, I'll just keep this going. So it's just going to be a really long video, and I'm hoping you guys see some of that skill of that try-on feature inside the fitting room, the fitting room try-on skill. Just a fabulous champion. And then I just remembered, so I don't forget, I'll just go in here and put on a dumb helmet real quick. So I'll go filter, equipped, and I'll look for helmets, and then I'll go down to crit rate, and I'll just steal any helmet that I want. It doesn't really matter at this point in time. There's a lot of champions out there that I put stuff on that I don't really care about anymore, and I'll go ahead and just grab it off this one because I'm not really using her for anything else. It cost me $50,000, but that champion's fully equipped, and I won't accidentally use that champion for something later on. Now this champion had some skills for putting on hexes. Places an extra hit on enemies with hexes on. Also places a then places a hex debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. So I don't want this one. Might be useful later, so I don't want to ruin that. So. All right, well, have a good one. I hope this part of the video was good, and I am going to make this a 2-part video, so I don't have like a 1-hour video. That seems like it's crazy. So up to this point, I hope that was helpful, and we'll see how Fenax does to help me in Ice Golem on the next video. So have a good one.